Hi, ladies. Welcome to another episode of the First Generation Millionaires podcast. I am your host, Rebecca Barr. I am super excited for today's episode. I was recording it, so apologies if you are watching the video. The quality is not great. I was recording it in another software platform that I usually use, and it basically didn't work. In fact, I might not even use the video because I'm looking at it and it looks very grainy. Let me know if you still want it. So essentially, I am recording today's episode to talk about the things that most entrepreneurs don't talk about, especially if you're trying to build a business online. And that is what to do when, things aren't flowing, sales aren't selling, things aren't moving in your business. Now, for me, I believe that this happens as a result of almost like an energetic blockage, in the sense that this isn't like you just need to think your way out of it, and that if you just vibe high, and as a money mentor, we're taught that there's more than enough abundance and things, and the better it gets, the better it gets. And you'll definitely see that rags to riches story trajectory is some people's reality online, although I do question the integrity of that. But my intention with today is that I think that these things happen for a reason. These moments happen in our business where the universe is really trying to give us an opportunity to realign, to refocus, to rest, to recharge. And there is always something powerful that can be taken away from those moments that isn't guilt and shame. Because let's be honest, that's our default mode, isn't it? If you are building a business online and everything isn't great and you're not making the most money and doing the least amount of work, then you're made to feel like you're missing something. You're doing something wrong. People don't like you. And it triggers all of our own insecurities that have plagued us for most of our lives as women, to be liked, to be successful. Da, 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 da. Now, for me as a mentor, this is why I felt this needed to be channeled right now, because I talk about being an intuitive mentor, and I feel like there is a very collective, heavy energy right now, and I've definitely had that confirmed with conversations that I'm having within my spiritual communities. And I want to address that, right? I've been quite public about the fact that even though I am a money mentor, the work is never done. There are always opportunities for more growth. But equally, as an entrepreneur who's been in business for 10 years, I know that everything, every new venture, every new business, every new strategy has a lifespan. It has an amount of time, energetic time, that it will be really, really good. And then at some point, it will need recalibrating, it will need readjusting, it will need some new focus in order to give it the same results that it had before. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes that was a season, that was a chapter, and it needs to go. And a lot of people do not talk about this online. They are only showing you the highlight reels. They're showing you like I say, the better it gets, the better it gets, the rags to riches story. I made loads of money, so now everything in my life is perfect. And that is just not true. And I think that we need to have a conversation around that. So today's episode is really being channeled intuitively, because I think that that's what the collective needs to hear, an honest and authentic conversation from an actual money mentor that is talking about shining a light on these moments, but also giving you some lessons and some practical tools and strategies that you can utilize in the moment to navigate these and then come out the other side in a more positive place, rather than traumatized and feeling your confidence knocked, feeling less worthy, and all of the things. And hopefully, if you appreciate this conversation and this what's the word, like, narrative opinion, then please let me know on socials, because my intention this year is to really grow the podcast. I'm so sick of listening to the same podcasts where people are, like I say, just saying like, oh, and this one thing clicked for me. This one strategy is the thing that changed me from, God, I was going to be really crass then. I'm not going to say that. I'll probably get cancelled. But because, I have a very crass sense of humor and I'm a very direct person. But, pretty much from selling crack on the streets to now living my most bougiest, best life, there is never one thing. It's never one. You might have a fuck the shit moment that is your turning point, that is your rock bottom, that compels you to move. But there would have been a lot of moments that led up to that point, and there'll be a lot of moments after it that enable you to harness harness that momentum, those insights, that wisdom, those downloads. And so it's never just one thing. Obviously, I believe in abundance in all areas, and that also comes from inspiration, transformation. It's never just one thing. Um, and I want to be honest about that. But that obviously, means that I need to get this message out. I need to have more shares, more likes, more comments, more reviews. So if you love what I do, please help me to grow this mission this year. And that is just, me being honest. There's only so much time and energy in the day. And if nobody is listening, then it's not a good use of my energy any longer. But if you are listening and this really resonates, then please help me to grow this mission, as I said. So if you were so basically what has been happening, as a manifesting generator, I'm here to respond. That is my strategy in line with my human design blueprint. I listen to what people are telling me. I listen to what my clients are going through. I listen to what my peers are going through. And fortunately, I'm kind of uniquely positioned because I am an embodiment of abundance, and I have a lot of friends that are business coaches, and there is no gatekeeping. I am very fortunate that they feel safe with me to have these honest conversations. There are people returning back to corporate. There are people that things are just not working like they used to, the strategies and it could just be that they are bored and therefore they're not getting the same results. There's a very real argument for that, but actually it's not the strategy, it's the person. It's reached its natural end to its season and chapter of working and feeling exciting. And I do believe as an entrepreneur that it's our energy, our passion, our vision, our excitement that gets the momentum, gets a lot of projects off the ground. And if you're no longer feeling inspired, excited, because you kind of been there and done that, then inevitably the results are going to suffer because you're not as excited about it. I look back to my business journey. My first business was a barbershop. And if I knew at the end of it, if I'd known at the beginning, what I knew at the end of it, would I have had all of that enthusiasm, excitement, that go, go, go energy to have created the success that I did? Absolutely not. If I'd approached it with that same mindset and energy and passion at the beginning, then it would have never gone anywhere. And almost naivety is like your superpower at this point because you don't know what you don't know. Everything feels like it's full of potential. You haven't been kind of kicked around or jaded at that point. So inevitably you're getting better results. And then obviously as things move on, things change. But like I said, it doesn't mean that you need to burn down your business, that you are terrible, that these things don't work, that nothing is worth pursuing anymore. It just means like we need to take a moment and we need to kind of reassess what is working in your business right now and what isn't. So maybe there's a particular type of lead generation that is working still. Maybe it feels a bit heavy though, and you don't necessarily want to be doing it anymore. Maybe your business relies on a lot of in-person connections, and actually, you're hearing about this time freedom of other people, and you're kind of thinking, God, I am literally doing so much heavy lifting to convert these people right now. That doesn't feel good to me anymore. I'm tired. So therefore, maybe something needs to change. Maybe it doesn't need to be you. Maybe we need to add something in, take something away. Like it's just feedback. I always believe that you get in business and life, you get the results that you want or you get the feedback that you needed. And if something is not working anymore, then there's an opportunity to have a look at it with fresh eyes, with complete objectivity. I always say approach your business with a sense of curiosity and take the emotions out of it and just see what's working, what isn't, so that you can fix the problem. As entrepreneurs, we are solution seekers. We are naturally gifted in that way. Otherwise, you wouldn't even have a business. You've obviously identified intuitively somewhere where it's not working for somebody and you've identified an opportunity to add value or a solution to that person, whether you have a product business, service business, coaching business, fitness business. You're providing a solution to those people. You're making their lives that little bit better. So we just need to apply the same creative mindset to fix the current problem within your business. So that would be like my first point of call, always like what's working, what's not, so that you can kind of drill down from there. Also checking in with yourself. Do I still want to be doing this? Does this still feel aligned? Do I energetically have one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake because I'm scared to do something different? And I definitely faced this crossroads after COVID with my barbershop. Had the option to renew the lease for another 7 years. And I already knew in my gut, this is not it. Like my coaching business was growing. And I just didn't feel inspired to go back to having a business that required so much of me with a young family. You know, I'd had another baby during COVID, and it just didn't. I just knew I can't put the same level of passion into it. I'm equally a little bit jaded from the industry. So therefore, even if the logical part of me is saying it's making money, why would you leave money on the table? I know that at some point that is going to run out because my heart and my passion is not in it anymore. That 7 year season is done, and I need to give myself permission to move on, which I did. So, is that what's happening right now? Like, that's a question for you to kind of reflect on. But if not, if genuinely you still feel so obsessed about this business and you feel really disheartened that you are not getting the sales that you deserve, if only more people knew about what you were doing, then it's then there's an opportunity in that. So one thing I had a conversation with a client recently, and she was saying the same thing. She was like, for some reason, this main offer is just not selling, but I really believe in it. And it's like, okay, so what do we need to do then? Like, we need to give people an opportunity to essentially try before they buy, to get a sense of like a taster of what you can do to move them closer without the big commitment, because we all ultimately should be striving for containers that are long term, because that gives you financial stability in your business. It gives you monthly recurring revenue. It also, for the client, means that they are locked in and ready to go, and they are fully committed to that transformation, because those that pay attention. And if you aren't giving them that opportunity for a longer term transformation and commitment to their continued growth, then you're kind of like missing out and doing them a bit of a disservice. But if actually people aren't ready, then obviously, yes, we can talk about marketing message. Are you speaking to the right person? Are you using language that positions you in the right way? Are you giving yourself opportunities to be seen as an expert, or i.e. visibility opportunities outside of your business? Are you continually looking for ways to collaborate and speak to new audiences? And if you aren't, then this is where I'm just launching currently the Wealthy Woman Power Circle, which is a brand new networking group that I really believe in. There are a lot of in-person components because I know the value of being in the room. That's how I grew my coaching business initially. Didn't even have an online presence for like a whole year before I of my coaching business, because I was just getting referrals from people in person at events that I was going to. I equally had a 6 month social media break after a couple of years due to some personal reasons. And my business continued to grow like 60, 70% in that time, because I leveraged so much in-person connections, the relationships that I'd already built through collaborations, didn't even need to be online. So if all of that sounds refreshing, please come and meet me inside the Wealthy Women Power Circle. Every year I refer six figures of business to other women in business, and already the women that are in that container and in my academy and in my mastermind are making 5 figures and more from the connections that I have curated and put together. You are almost like uniquely positioned in that group. You are with clients that are absolutely your ideal clients, but also women that are super, values aligned, and embodiment of women supporting women, that will send you referrals, that will give you honest feedback, that will support your growth, that will, amplify your confidence and your self-belief. So I'm going to pop the details in the show link. And we've got our first networking call coming up at the end of the month. So absolutely be on that call. And it's such a low investment. You can join today from £27. Like, I couldn't make it any more of a no-brainer, because genuinely I want to be part of the solution, not the problem, in the coaching space, where every other coach is just like, I make a shit ton of money thanks to you. You're welcome. Fuck you, pay me. Because I'm so sick of that mindset. And I have bought in to high ticket mentors that have taken multi 5 figures from me and don't even know my name. And I'm here to change that, because it's not okay. And it's not why I moved into the coaching space. I didn't even know it was a thing. It's something, coaching, mentoring, supporting, championing, connecting, has been something that I've done since I was 4 years old in the playground, asking kids who wants to play hide and seek. This isn't, I never came into this industry as a way to make money. Obviously now, yes, it does sustain me and my 6 children, and I'm very grateful for that. But it will never be my primary focus, because there's always easier ways to make money. Putting your heart and soul and your stories and everything else out there online is a lot. I've never been tested in terms of mindset and self-belief and healing than I have in being a coach, because it's very confronting. When you're an entrepreneur, and you've got a physical brick and mortar business, people come into your shop. You want a haircut? Amazing. Here's a haircut. It costs this much. Do you want it? Yes. Perfect. Great. Step this way. And I do sometimes miss the simplicity of that. I have a product. You want it. You'll pay for it. Thank you very much. I'll be here tomorrow because you paid me and I can continue to grow this business. The coaching space is like the wild west of manipulative tactics to try and get people to let you help them. So there's that. Obviously, yes, messaging and all the things, but equally, if genuinely we just need to create an opportunity, this is where I love and embrace the pop-up offer, the micro offer that gives people an opportunity not only to see what you can do, not only is it low risk, low commitment to deliver for you, but also for your clients. It gives you a cash injection. It keeps the energy fresh. It exposes you to new clients. Every time I do a pop-up offer, a 10 days to 10K challenge, there are new people coming in that I didn't even know were watching, were interested in my offers. But also it's fun, and energy, money is energy, business is energy, things need to move. And it's a great, fun, and dynamic way to create some cash injections, bring new people in, and ultimately, potentially upsell them into your other offers without having to continually bombard people with the message of buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit. There's nothing worse than feeling like you are putting your heart and your soul out there and people are like, no, thank you. Doing these little offers makes it fun. As I said, it's relatively no risk for you and for the clients. It adds some interest, some excitement into your diary. I've mapped out all of my micro offers for the rest of the year. It keeps it fun, it keeps it fresh, it keeps my creativity flowing. It gives people an opportunity to work with me at different price points. And maybe that's where we'll part ways. And I'm absolutely fine with that. As long as I know that they've left better than they met me, then I am absolutely happy with that. But equally, if they want the continued and extended transformation, that's where they join your programs. And I think it's also about understanding that people are in different seasons, different parts of their journey. Equally, there's a very strategic masculine side to never leaving money on the table. And not everybody is ready to invest high ticket and able to. Doesn't mean that you can't serve them to some extent in your programs. Maybe not the whole transformation, but enough to get them moving and getting results. And I think we can't kind of underestimate the value of that. It all compounds, karmically in your favor, and also strategically, right? Getting the testimonials, getting the wins, getting the shares, like it all helps. So if things aren't flowing in your business, that is the first thing that I tell my clients to do. How can we create a micro offer that feels really exciting for you to sell, that tests your creativity, exposes you to new audiences, and will also get new people into your world? And hopefully then, because also this is about your own self-belief, there is nothing like making money off the back of making money when you are in receiving mode. And even if you're earning like £7, £27, £37, once you have received that, that will then amplify and raise your vibrations. You're more likely to make more money in the bigger high ticket containers because you've had that confirmation from the universe, from your clients, but also to yourself that the gifts that you have has value to others. It will just continue to ripple effect from there. So I hope that this episode has given you some really real and tangible, but also strategies that you can follow and implement in your business today. And I would love for you to come and find me on Instagram and tell me what those strategies are going to be, what you are going to do today as a result of this episode. Is it looking at your, doing the blank piece exercise, what is working, what isn't, having that honest conversation with yourself around, is it because part of me doesn't want this anymore? Looking at your messaging with fresh eyes, no judgment, just an objective look at what you're saying, and if that is ultimately going to be hitting the mark for your ideal client, whether you're going to be implementing a micro offer, whether you are continuing to think beyond your social media audience with networking and getting in front of new audiences, and you're balancing the masculine and the feminine in your business. And if you are you've done that work, let me know on Instagram, hop over and let me know that you've listened to this episode, that you are going to implement something from that. But if there is part of you that is like, I literally cannot see what I cannot see right now, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, then I'm going to offer 5 business strategy audits at a ridiculous price point of 222 for anybody that listens to this. Jump into my DMs and I'll send you the details, because we need to get you moving. And like I said, the ripple effect of making those sales and getting out of this lag time in this limbo in your business right now is going to serve you 10x, like literally 10x. And I just had feedback from a client this week, completely unsolicited. She just unexpectedly popped into my inbox and was like, babe, we used to work together as a one-to-one client. She had incredible results. She literally had her first 10K month. She had 6x their prices, but most importantly, started to attract the most soul aligned clients, and the ripple effect of that work has been incredible to watch. I've also supported her in her programs as a guest expert, but she just bizarrely, like, very intuitively felt called to send me a testimonial that was like, I was reflecting on our journey the other day, and actually, yes, I made a shed ton of money while we were together, and yes, there was some real shifts in the moment. But what I think is actually really special about your coaching and the way that you hold energy and the transformation that you create for your clients is that I am still continuing to grow and expand today, and continually check back in with myself because of the work that we did. So that was really lovely to receive. And I know the power of just having somebody helping you, like as women, holding space for you, seeing the things that you can't see, seeing the highest vision for what you are creating when you can't see the woods for the trees, when you're in firefighting and survival mode. That is truly powerful. Like, that is a game changer in your business. So that's why I'm offering these strategy sessions. Please let me know if you would like one. There's only going to be 5, because typically I charge a lot more for these sessions, but this is the work, and this is the legacy that I want to create. So if you have enjoyed today's episode, please let me know. Look forward to seeing you on the next one, hopefully with a different a better quality video. But otherwise, have an incredible rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me.